Hey guys, my name is Ryan Debus. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the Beltline. It is a massive redevelopment project in the city of Atlanta. It is a project that began in 2008 and is still ongoing. So just a little brief overview of what we'll get through in the presentation today. Background on the Beltline, where did it come from, what's encompassed, some of the benefits of the Beltline, your Atlanta traffic, and how to kind of relieve congestion there, how it connects neighborhoods, promoting mental and physical health, an emphasis on housing, especially affordable housing, and then the preservation of historical structures and supporting legislation that kind of helps to foster that. In terms of primary challenges to the Beltline, first and foremost, kind of goes without saying with any massive project of this magnitude, is funding. The money behind it, where does it come from, how far behind they are, and then obviously I'll include some of my personal opinions along the way on the Beltline. So the background. The idea for the Beltline began with a thesis written by a master's student named Ryan Gravel. He was studying architecture, grew up in Louisiana, moved to Atlanta, was very familiar with all of the asphalt, sidewalk, lack of continuity. He traveled abroad during his studies to France, spent a year there, kind of became enamored with the idea of walking everywhere, eating freshly prepared food, and sort of kind of molded his obsession with trains into the reality of that easy transit in and around France. Gravel wanted to create more encompassing, more modern urban landscape, saw the defunct railroad tracks in and around Atlanta as an opportunity, saw them as basic routing mechanism, and sort of took off from there. So encompassed in the project are 22 miles of trains. They're light rail trains, which means less of an impact on the environment, as well as parks, affordable housing, billions in economic development, thousands of permanent jobs, over 1,000 acres of environmental cleanup, as well as over 1,000 acres of new green space, coupled with the largest outdoor public art exhibition in the South. So, kind of touched on some of the benefits of the Beltline before, but we'll get a little bit more in depth here. So Atlanta has consistently ranked in the top 10 of all urban areas in the country for most auto commuter delays annually. So what that means is people spend more time sitting in traffic in their cars in Atlanta than almost anywhere else in the country. So in 2019 alone, over 1 million tons of excess CO2 emissions came as a result of the congestion in and around Atlanta. So adding those logical, expansive light rail trains, it's going to push, hopefully, as many commuters as possible from the roads to the rails. The paved loop, the 22-mile, now expanded to almost 33 once the project's going to be done, will also give the opportunity to ride a bicycle for those living outside of downtown and park at one of the many areas in and around the Beltline and bike your way in if you so choose. Or if you live right along the Beltline, that works as well. There's a pledge by the Beltline Partnership, which is the nonprofit organization kind of backing the Beltline, to have 5,600 affordable housing units completed by the end of the project. So far, they are near 2,800, with an estimated completion for the project around 2030, so another 8 years, to come up with another half of the affordable housing units they projected. The development of the Beltline also stresses the preservation of historical structures wherever possible. They created a strict set of guidelines about structures 50 years or older in the Atlanta Code of Ordinances that kind of force them to meet a certain set of criteria, the developers being them, in order to demolish that building. So again, the primary challenge to the Beltline is funding. Okay, estimated to cost $5 billion, and now well surpassed that. Atlanta's had to get creative, produce enough funding to keep the project moving. Taxpayers have voted down city sales tax increases in the past, so for as many people that want to see the project be successful, they don't want to pay for it. The city created a tax allocation district in the areas along the Beltline to use the gains in property tax over a 25-year period to help fund the project. The tax allocation district will still only produce about 1.5 billion according to estimates. Initially, it was going to be around 3 for what they thought. Post-COVID, their updated numbers say roughly 1.5 billion from this tax allocation district. Private donations have reached $100 million. Federal and state grants have also helped, but the project is far from being funded, and we're about 14 years into the project. So from a personal perspective, obviously there's a lot to love about Beltline and kind of what they've come up with here. So from a modern, functional, and emphasis on improving the environment standpoint, the physical and mental health of the residents of Atlanta, there's a lot included in this project that's going to help a lot of different people. Anytime there's a way to decrease commute times, get vehicles off the road, and help to alleviate congestion, obviously it's beneficial. It's become a model for light rail transit in and around a large urban area. So the idea of kind of emphasizing routes and making a loop around the city makes it a little bit more encompassing, a little less cumbersome. All in all, very successful thus far. The affordable housing is a great selling point. Keep lower and middle class families close to work in downtown and around the Beltline. The preservation of the historical structures, again, can't harp on that enough. Trying to integrate some of those old structures, some of those more character structures in with some of the newer construction will certainly present a streetscape that people will be proud of. And then that $10 to $20 billion in economic development is amazing for the city, help to revitalize it moving forward. So just quickly, here's a map of the Beltline. The purple going around it is kind of the loop. The interior is basically right in the middle of that loop is downtown Atlanta. And then just for the sake of showing some of the completed areas of the Beltline, you have some of the more urban areas in your bottom right, some of your streetscapes bottom left, and then more of your suburban parts of the trails in your upper right. That being said, thank you for watching my presentation. Have a good night.